Welcome back to the quiet part. This is part 3 in my video series of making an off-grid tiny home inside of a box truck. As I've said before, the main reason I'm doing this is to not have to rent for the rest of my life. I want to save some money and maybe live more environmentally friendly if I can do it too. So far, I've worked on the insulation, the electrical, and the bed frame that you can see in the back. In this video, I'll be working on the floors, the kitchenette, and the walls of this box truck tiny home that I'm building. So for the floor, what I've already done is seal the subfloor, which was the original floor this box truck came with. That's what all that weird paint is. I patched as many spots as I could because I want to make something that is going to exist for a long time. I want everything to be incredibly resistant to rotting out or getting ruined by moisture. So what I'm doing is laying beads of silicone sealant beneath every single one of these supports, which exists for two purposes. It's to reduce airflow and increase the insulative properties of this floor, and it's also to isolate the fiberglass from our living space. Because in a moving thing like a box truck, you don't want fiberglass getting into your air. In terms of the actual flooring itself, we're using 5/8 inch plywood, which is pretty well supported on these studs that I've placed. And the hope is later on to stain and seal it to make it a viable long-term floor. In terms of attaching it, I'm measuring and cutting things to shape, and then using roofing nails to put things into place. With the floor mostly out of the way now, I can start thinking about plumbing. What I'm doing here is cutting out essentially an RV water-filling inlet port. These are pretty standard on most RVs, though I put ours way too high, honestly. This is where we're going to fill up on water. And what I'm working on now is the kitchen countertop, I guess. It's a piece of furniture we're using. I'm going to jerry-rig something with this to make it into a kitchen countertop that holds our water tank and our sink, as well as maybe a couple of drawers if we have room left over. There will also be a space for the gray water tank as well, though I'm also jerry-rigging that pretty hard too. I'm DIYing it all the way.
So this is my current vision. This is the water inlet port that I set up on the outside earlier. I've drilled a hole through this counter thing that we're going to end up using. Both of these ports connect to our water tank. So the big one goes into here. The air spout to let pressure in and out goes into this one. And this, like even right now, like this is exceptionally rough. I have to do so much to the countertop still, install the sink. The idea is that when we install it, we'll turn that at an angle, push this in, and then push this against the wall. And then this needs almost the exact amount of room that would have the water tank itself butted up against this wall. So like that's a dimensional fit, which I'm all about. Okay, so this is the water inlet tube. This is so air can come in and out of the tank. Down there is where the water is actually going to come out and go into the water pump. Up here is the inlet itself.
Alrighty, a quick hello and explanation. We are in between beginning the process of working on the plumbing, and we're going to go ahead and finish up insulating the bed area with more of this foam board. We kind of left it to the end because it was going to be annoying, so we're going to have to do that now. Then the rest of today is going to be dedicated to actually rigging up this bench that we're using to turn into our kitchen. We need to put the sink into it. We need to do the final fitment on the water tank itself, the inlet, the outlet, the air tube, and then get the sink rigged up, and then we'll deal with the gray water tank afterwards. But that is the plan for today.
The thing that is so nebulous about these big projects is you can never do everything at the same time in order. So we had to hold off on doing this insulation until essentially we knew walls would come up soon. But the fun part about this specific step was seeing how the bed frame was really starting to meld with the rest of the design of this box truck. It's starting to make me think I'm not an idiot and I might know what I'm doing.
General update on how things are looking right now.
We've got all of the insulation completely done. We've got some of the walls up there where the top queen mattress is going to be, so that part of the bed frame has walls now. The floor is about 3/4 of the way done up until where the bed frame starts. The electrical is taken care of, and as you can see, we've got the water tank and over here, the water inlet system set up. What we're really waiting on right now is just to finish the sink and countertop, and then to get some walls put up so we can start really finishing things and bringing in the rest of the furniture that we've bought.
Right, so back to working on the kitchen countertop itself. What I'm doing now, despite the ladder blocking your view, is we are jigsawing out the template shape for the stainless steel sink that we are going to be putting in for our sink itself. It's a bar sink. I think it's about 12 inches deep. It's super minimal and simple, which is great for me because I'm still new to plumbing and everything like that.
This is the kitchen countertop so far. This is an old bookshelf sort of thing, like a set of drawers. You can see there we have the stainless steel sink that we've gone ahead and put in. It was technically an undermount. I just rolled with it and screwed it in essentially, and then we sealed around it. Down here, this compartment is where the water tank is going to go. That is where the water inlet is going to go to fill the tank. And then the water tank will have a pump sending water up through the faucet once I put it in a little bit. The big thing right now is getting this thing structurally stable again. It's just not doing so good because I've taken out so much structure from it. So I'm going to reinforce it and then get onto the process of installing the actual faucet and the various lines that go into that. Then I can take this whole thing, sand, stain, and seal it, and then install it permanently. But to some extent, before I even get to that, I have to get into the actual truck and, you know, put on the wall at some point. So I should probably get to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get to that like as things come and go. For now, I'm gonna have to keep working on the actual kitchen countertop itself. You can see me using my Shadow Clone Jutsu to summon more helpers to do this more quickly. I've sanded it down. Now I'm putting on our gunstock stain that my fiance chose at the hardware store. I didn't think it was going to look that good just because of the name Gunstock, honestly, but I don't know. The orange is kind of okay, and she has a green aesthetic, as you'll see, and this almost fits that aesthetic kind of well. So here's the thing about staining and sealing. I'm pretty familiar with this process. I'm using spar urethane. That means coat after coat after coat with hours of waiting in between and sanding in between every coat. But that's what it takes to get something that is thoroughly waterproof and that's actually going to last a long time. So this looks quick, but this was actually like an entire 16-hour day of having to wait kind of boredly for things to dry and cure. Now I'm getting along to actually putting in basic walls, which nothing ever happens in order with these projects. It's just kind of when you know it's the right time to do it, that's when you start doing it. A fun and interesting side effect of this entire project is that it has made me significantly stronger, and since I've started, I've lost 15 pounds because I've been so active doing manual labor just like this. So I'm improving my life in a lot of ways, hopefully, throughout this project. And now I need to actually start improving the sink and kitchen countertop. So what I've done here is I've put in the faucet. You drill a hole or jigsaw a hole, you put it in, you seal around it, and now I'm just trying to think of where I'm going to be putting our gray water tank, which is one of the lazier things I've done so far. It's genuinely just an old drinking container that we'll use for the time being, so that way while we're testing things, we can actually have the water go somewhere and not make a horrible mess.
We got the air outlet, so we don't accidentally pull a vacuum. We got the water fill line. That is the water outline. And then that's going to go into the water pump, and then into the sink, and then out to the, what do you call it? The gray water tank. All right, it is now time for the scariest part of plumbing. I'm going to turn the water on and start filling the water tank, and then I'll have to power the pump and see if anything leaks. So that's gonna be a scary and real experience. Do it with me. Let's go out here. This is gonna suck. This is my approach. Assume everything will go wrong and operate backwards from there. That's what I'm doing. At least when I'm the person building things. Alright, I just said it. I hear a noise. I hear lots of noises. Ooh, I hear, I mean, it does, the hose is doing the thing. This is scary, I do not enjoy this. Right, there's the hose, making noise, putting water in. Let's take a look inside here and see what might be going wrong or not. Okay, the hose is hosing. I see no drips. Not that there really would be, it's probably coming out there so quick it's not even making contact with this area. So I guess the bottom is what I'm worried about. This is your job now. Alright. Well, the tank's filled up about a third of the way. I reckon I'm going to turn it off so I can do a test, so that way if something goes wrong, I don't have to empty an entire tank. I only have to empty like a half or a third. So I'm going to go turn it off. You have fun here. Familiar, like something you know. Okay. Alright. Here's what I'm thinking. So the contacts for this water pump are just you know, exposed wires. I think I'm gonna real quick electrical tape a DC female jack, because I have a bunch of those. I'm gonna electrical tape a DC female jack onto this, and I think I'm just gonna power it off of my little portable battery bank from the check out that video, the solar charged electric bike trailer video. That was the power source for it. I realized that the DC jacks I have are male to open wired, but I completely forgot that this power bank originally came with a 12 volt female inputs, which is pretty dope. You know, we've got a connection down there from the water tank into the water pump through its strainer. This is the output of the water pump into the sink coupler, and then into the actual sink itself, and then there's a plug covering one of the hot or cold lines. I don't know which anymore. So, you know, how many points of failure are there? All of them. Every point, there's every point of failure. There's as many as possible, apparently. Alright, let's try this again. Oh, no way. Whoa. Okay, I think I figured it out. So, right, this sink is made for hot and cold. So it's got an internal valve to swap between the two inlets, and one of the inlets is dead, one of the inlets is functioning. I didn't have it open, so water was going against a vacuum. Alright, let's see. Oh, well, I don't, you know, I'm still not paying attention for leaks right now, so that's not good. I need to pay attention for leaks. Alright, turn it back on, 3, 2, oh, it is on. I forgot, it's still powered. It must be at pressure right now. Look, the DC jack is live, which means it reached its pressure and turned off, just like a real functional one. Water! That's a weird noise. There's no way. There's no leaks. How do I make it not? Oh yeah! That's normal looking water. Alright, we're doing the necessary, what is it? We're doing the ritual. I'm getting me a glass. Alright, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fill up me a glass of water. Well, that doesn't seem good. Yeah, I think it doesn't have enough power. Oh yeah. It's not getting enough power. Well, I can fix that. Glass of water. It doesn't taste like plastic, so that's kind of cool. Oh, it tastes a little something weird still. Whenever you use these water tanks, there's always a little bit of a taste the first few runs you go through with it.
And while I paint these walls, I'd like to take a moment to ask you politely, if you are interested in my videos, please get subscribed. If you like this video in particular, be sure to like it, share it with people you think are interested in this type of stuff, and try not to pay too much attention to the very significant panel gaps between each of these wall plates that I put on. The nice thing, though, is that this shade of green is pretty good looking, and you have my fiance to thank for that. He is much better at that sort of thing than I am, and I think this actually ended up coming out pretty well.
Howdy. That's huge progress all at once. But there's not much to show because these are things that were worked on kind of separately and all at once. So this is the fridge. 110 watts, 120 volt AC household refrigerator. Just a really small one. Like, you know, if this were a college dorm fridge, this would be the kid with the coolest college dorm fridge. So it's like max college dorm fridge. Fridge, freezer. The water situation. So right now I am running the water pump off of a separate battery, which I might kind of keep that because I like how it kind of forces me to have another battery somewhere. Running water. Yeah, man, look at that. You want to see that more closely? Look, running water. Ha ha ha. That is coming from our installed freshwater tank. This setup is mounted to the floor except for one point, which I'm going to do tomorrow because I really want to think about that mounting point for the future of modularity and you know, maintenance, how that mounting point is going to work. This is all mounted as well, kind of modularly, but not really. I've just got L brackets everywhere, but if I have to, I can take the L brackets out and move this whole thing. I did leave like 1.5 inches or so around the back of the refrigerator so it can breathe because I know it needs to. Yeah, walls are painted. This, ha ha ha, watch this. This is a bed. This is actually a fool, not a queen. Because the queen is going to stay in our actual bedroom until we move into here full time. So the fool's going to stay here for the time being because we had an extra fool from who knows when. I think it was actually for this bunk bed situation. But yeah, that's the inside of this thing right now. Here's how I reckon I'll be getting down. Yeah, this is not made for like when we retire. This is a very appropriate for us in our 20s. Is this not sick? I think this is sick. It's also the middle of the night because I've been working that long today. So, you know, I'm going crazy, but this is really cool. I literally don't know what I have to do now. Install the toilet. It's a single vent to the outside. I don't want to put it in, but I will. Okay, that's it. That's it. The toilet is a composting toilet. It just needs to be mounted to the floor and then have a vent go outside and then wire the fan. That's easy. I mean, this is a blank canvas, right? For customizing and storage systems. I'd say the only thing in here that's not like ready to go is the gray water tank because it's literally just like a blue 20-gallon jug thing from a previous build. It's like the thing you see at like relays and races or like trail running races, right? They'll have it out on like a table and you get some water from it. That's our gray water tank. It's just something I already had and it's not very big, but I don't really plan to be doing dishes until we move in, so I can deal with that later. I'll have months. Yeah. Well, is this just this? I don't know how to say. This is very exciting. I bought this truck. We bought this truck about 27 days ago, which means 3 days from now will make 1 month. And I would frankly call this right now done. Like the build is done. From here on out, it's just moving things in and putting up cabinets, but we won't know what cabinets we need or where to put them until we start really understanding what it looks like to live in here and move in here in the first place. So, yeah. I guess we gotta stain and seal the floor, but I'm not gonna do that until the very, very end when everything is done and taken care of, so. I'm tired. I'm tired. Oh, our first test of this is going to be tomorrow. I set an arbitrary deadline for the first round that we'll be going to of the Renaissance Festival in Colorado. So I wanted to make sure this was ready for that when the time came. And it is. I mean, we'll have a fridge, we'll have running water. Hopefully I install the toilet tomorrow. That's pretty mint. It's a house on wheels, you know what I mean?
Okay, so we have officially arrived. It is now nighttime. We are at the dispersed campsite that we will not disclose the name of, but we like it. We have ice cream in the fridge and cupcakes, Capri Sun, most importantly ground beef and some cheese. Tonight we will be making tacos for dinner, so that's really exciting. We have these set up. We've got the sink. We've got our induction stovetop that we found at the thrift store. We got the induction ready pan that we found for discount. It's currently 777 in here. As we leave on the top fan, it should draw air in through the outside through whatever gaps we have and cool it down a fair bit. And then when we want it really cool, we can turn on the heat exchanger, the heat pump, and it will do the rest for us. But you can see there we got the bed set up. These are just our normal bed stuff. And man, it is really, really cozy up there once you actually have it set up. It is super, super comfy and cozy. Neither of us are used to camping like this. I've never gotten to camp like this where you can have refrigerated food and cook a fresh meal and be in comfort like this. I've never done camping like this before. This is really what glamping is, and I get why people are a bit shit-eating about it, because this is way too nice. But that was the point, was to build something that could work as a house replacement. And so far, this is looking pretty good already. We'll see how it goes.
No, I gotta throw some corn in there, please.
That'll fill it out more.
I was
Now,
only
I
gonna
am
make like
making-
2 tacos.
I am
for
making
you.
one hell of a mess.
Well, see, that's why I think I'm gonna have to like tile this, because we're not gonna be able to like wipe down.
Well, actually, we do have to wipe that down right now.
I mean,
Go
yeah.
grab something to wipe it down with.
We should have bought paper towels.
So this one in here. This will bind it all together and make it a lot.
We should have bought plastic bags too, because like wrapping everything up in.
Well, the one thing we don't have is milk. What am I doing? Milk is an important cooking ingredient. Alright, go and set up the tacos and chills and whatnot.
You're gonna want to heat up your shell, I think.
No, I want to eat it straight.
I don't think it's gonna be.
I'm
good.
psycho. So
Stop.
I'm not normal.
Like.
So you're down, I'll grab some. Tacos with Dorito shell, nacho cheese flavored shell, which I've never eaten before.
Is the cheese still out or no? How is it?
It's pretty good. All right, do a spin. We out here. I have corn. She has a smashed potato. It is delicious.
Once again, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to like it, get subscribed if you'd like to. And my next video in this series won't be out for another month or so because it's going to be covering all the little things we do between now and testing it throughout this summer, so we know all the types of cabinets and other special little additions that we'd like to add in the future. So I'm essentially done working on this full-time every day like I have been for the past month, and I'm going to transition back to making videos about any kinds of things I think need to be talked about more. And that might include some of this van life stuff and more thoughts about the economy and housing and all kinds of other things. So, thank you for sticking around. I appreciate it. Take care.